Welcome to Wisconsin DNR's Wild Wisconsin Off the Record podcast. Information straight from the source.
Welcome back to another bonus episode of Wild Wisconsin Off the Record. I'm your host, DNR's digital media coordinator, Katie Grant. Ice fishing to someone who isn't from Wisconsin can seem like an absolutely crazy activity. But if you drive past any lake in the middle of winter after it's iced over, you'll almost certainly see at least one person out fishing. On this bonus episode of Wild Wisconsin, we're bringing you another story from Wisconsin's wild side. So sit back and listen in as Bill Scott and C. Yang talk about ice fishing and a special opportunity in our state to give it a try. We'll be back after this.
There's nothing like the adventure of ice fishing in Wisconsin, the calmness of the frozen lake, the camaraderie with other anglers, and the excitement of catching fish you normally can't get to in the summer. January 18th and 19th, you can ice fish for free during Free Fishing Weekend. Bring your friends and family, have some fun, and make some memories ice fishing. For info on how you can host or join a Free Fishing Weekend event, go to dnr.wi.gov and search Free Fishing Weekend, Wisconsin DNR, Adventures and Memories.
We are talking ice fishing with C. Yang. C, when did you start ice fishing?
I actually didn't start ice fishing until I was in college, maybe in 2000s. But yeah, that was when I first started. I met this younger guy who was a friend of my brother's, and he got me into it. And we're up from La Crosse, so we fished the backwaters of up in the Mississippi, and that's when I actually started ice fishing and got into it and started loving it.
So what really drew you to the sport?
I would say, I guess just the different way of fishing and just not being able to predict as well as you would in open water, and the way you fish it is, the vertical fishing is so much different than your open water.
So I'm assuming you got your start on open water, correct?
Yes, I did. Yeah, I actually started when I was very young. My dad he got me fishing when I was a little kid. He used to take us out to the creeks, and we would fish for creek chubs, and it started from there. But then it's funny because my dad and my brothers, they haven't fished ever since then. But I've always I grew to love it, and I just been fishing all my life.
What is it that you like about it?
What I love about fishing and ice fishing in general too is that just the learning opportunities that it's never ending. You're always learning. You're constantly trying to figure out what the fish is doing, and it's so cool to learn fish behavior, and you gotta how to adapt to them and try to figure them out. So that's what I really like about that.
So other than the cold and lack of bugs, what are some of the attributes that sets ice fishing apart from open water fishing? What gives it its appeal?
I think it kind of goes back to that, just the different skills and different things you can do with it. It's easier to just get a big group of guys to get out there and just hang out and do the ice fishing thing, and better than getting your boat rigged up and have to do with all those hassling with all those other things as far as open water. But yeah, I think just being able to get more people involved is what kind of draws other people to it. Yeah.
Tell us about some of the basic gear. What are the essentials to get started?
As far as basic gear, number one thing is always your safety gear, your ice picks, some sort of flotation device and throwable. Also, an auger, handheld auger or gas powered. Nowadays, they have, those battery operated power augers. And just your simple rod and reel, and then just tip ups. I guess that's pretty much what your basic needs would be as far as what you need to get it started. But you can always get into more of the other newer technology and newer things, such as the flashers and things like that, your jigs and plastics that come along with that. But usually live bait is probably your best bet.
Okay, what about safety?
As far as safety, like I said, having your ice picks, your spud to check the ice, and usually a general rule of thumb is that 4 inches of clear solid ice is best for ice fishing if you're trolling by foot. So yeah, and if you just following some guidelines as far as if you want to take an ATV or truck out there, just following those guidelines as far as how thick of ice you should have, as such as I think for ATVs between 9 and 10 or something, and then something like closer to that, and then at least 12 to be able to drive a truck on it.
What if a person doesn't have gear?
if a person doesn't have any gear, there is the DNR have several tackle loaner sites around the state, and people are always welcome to go stop in those DNR sites and do rentals. So what you do is you ask for that, and they'll be able to supply you with that, and you just return it back when you're done with it. And so there's a lot of opportunities that the DNR will have throughout the state to have those equipment for people who don't have that.
Where can a person learn basic ice fishing skills?
There are a couple of opportunities within throughout the year. There is the free fishing weekend clinics that are also held statewide. For the first full weekend in June, that's for the open water. And then in January, the third full weekend in January, that is another opportunity for people to start learning about ice fishing and all the safety and all the things that comes with it.
Where can people ice fish?
So in Wisconsin, we are so fortunate to have 15,000 lakes and thousands of miles of streams. So you can practically fish anywhere in the state of Wisconsin. The only thing about the streams is that it's a lot more of a hazard, and it's an increase of hazard because of the flowing water. But with all the lakes that we have, people are allowed to go fish on there as long as the lakes are safe as far as ice, and as long as there's access that people can get in there, especially in regards to boating.
Tell us about fishing licenses.
So fishing license in Wisconsin is great. You can pay for a $20 license and you'll be able to fish 365 days out of the year. But if you want to do salmon and trout, there's a stamp that comes along with that. It's about $10 to support the habitat restoration and stocking efforts. So there's a lot of opportunities, and I believe within the state if you're a first-time buyer, it's actually cheaper. It's about $5, and I don't know if it's changed, but in the past couple of years, I know if you haven't bought one, it's $5. But then if you haven't bought one in a while, it's $5 for the first time.
Are you taking a friend or family member out to give fishing a try for Free Fishing Weekend? We'd love to see your photos and hear your stories. Share them with us via email, dnrpodcast@wisconsin.gov. Thanks for listening.